Hello, and this is a review of the Samsung Galaxy Nexus compared to the iPhone 4S. This is the 16 GB model. This is actually my first review, so bear with me here, at least video review. As you see, I've just turned on the Galaxy Nexus. This is the GSM version, 16 GB. Just picked this one up from Negri Electronics. Actually pretty happy with the way that went with them. Pretty nice little unit. Perhaps not as aesthetically pleasing as the iPhone, but not bad nonetheless. Got some clean lines to it, nice and slim at the top. It has a little ridge here at the bottom, little bump, as most of you are probably aware. Kind of helps you grab it a little bit. I was looking forward to the soft touch plastic on the back being a little bit more grippy, but it unfortunately is not. It's pretty slick, much like the Samsung Galaxy S2. Anyway, I'm sure you're all familiar with the iPhone. This is the 4S. Got the updated camera and Siri. Anyway, I'll go ahead and turn both units on. As you can see, I don't have a SIM card installed in the iPhone. That's because I've transferred it to the Galaxy with a SIM card adapter. This will be just basically a video to show some general, kind of user interface demonstration with the units. You can see the iPhone, just, as you can imagine, smooth as glass. Flick it around, very responsive to your touch. Just feels like it's very, very smooth. The Google phone, also very smooth. But you probably are not picking it up in the video. I tried to use 60 frames per second to capture it, but just a slight delay behind your finger, in the flicking action there. But very cool, as you can see. You can do widgets, basically power widgets down here, other activities. You can have Pandora, you can have Google Voice, kind of listing out things on the desktop. Going into the app drawer, again, very smooth, no real lag there. You can flick about in here very easily, and you have to kind of flick over many times to get to the widgets, in which case I have a couple of widgets installed here. It was a 10-cent promotion today for beautiful widgets, good deal. So, again, very, very minimal lag in here, very slick. Going back to the desktop, and sometimes this is where you see just a touch of lag going back there. Another area where you'll see it sometimes, I don't have any apps loaded right now, but is in this button, which actually pulls up a sort of a task manager, so to speak, and shows what current apps you're running. So if I were to go into the web browser here, and my home page is Google, and if I were to go to, like, let's say The Verge, and you can see it's the big screen's actually very friendly for browsing, although this is a mobile site. You can just tell text is nice and sharp and crisp. Everything moves about very, very nicely. It's very responsive to your touch, but I wouldn't say quite as responsive as the iPhone. Just going to the same site for a second here. If I were to go here in Safari, let's see. The search. So go here. Both phones very, very quick with the Wi-Fi. Fortunately, one of the things I do like about the browser, the stock browser in ICS, is that you get the full screen feature, which I guess Safari just has chosen not to go for, because they do have the bar down here at the bottom for commands and so forth. And as you can see here, if you just follow my finger as I touch this line of text here and move it up and down, very little lag behind that input as I move it up and down, just very responsive. And as I do the same thing, just see over here, just you can see that it kind of moves a lot, significantly, some more distance behind my finger as it scrolls up and down there. Still very responsive, feels very flickable. And that's a kind of maybe coined a term there, but anyway, very responsive. feels very nice, but just not quite as nice as the iPhone in that regard. Anyway, do like the browser though. Very nice browser in ICS. Also has this quick key feature where you touch the edge of the screen. You can go to either the bar, which is up here. So if I were to say I want to go for let's see, CNN, and just tap that, it'll go directly there, and this is again the mobile site. And then I can go to options down here and say if I want to request a desktop site, and then it'll go and load the desktop site there. I do have the option where it reflows text. It's not actually a true text reflow, but basically it puts it in blocks. You can see this in some websites where it'll truncate. In fact, if I go to Android Central, forgive my slow typing here, I'm at an angle. But so I have this feature enabled, and what it does is basically just put a nice little column along the left of all the text. Otherwise it would justify it all the way out to this other frame over here on the other side. That allows you to do is it kind of maximizes the double tap to zoom feature, getting you right there in on the text very nicely. Unfortunately, that feature doesn't work if you don't have that sort of reflow enabled very well, and I'll show you what I'm talking about there. Let's see, in settings, I think it's in advanced, auto fit pages. So if it reloads here, actually this isn't, looking at this page, it's probably not going to be much different, but if I were to go into, and again the touch to zoom there, very nice in this one as well, just like the iPhone. Again, probably just not getting quite as many frames per second there, but so if we were to go down here and go to say the Galaxy Nexus, if I can find it. Let's see. Here we go. So you see here where there's a large block here. Kind of zooms in nicely there, but it doesn't quite capture all the text. If you use the text reflow or the auto fit rather, it does a better job of that. So and of course the double tap to zoom has always been very nice on the iPhone. Let's see here, go to the top of the page so I can see. Android. Everything's very snappy, very responsive on the iPhone. Just seems to like to kind of go and do exactly what you tell it to do right away. Just seems to be slightly more delayed on the Nexus. Again, the double tap to zoom, excellent. Just really hits it right on, just about every time. The displays, and it's probably tough to tell from there from this video, but I would say the display on the iPhone is just a touch more crisp. That IPS panel with full RGB in each pixel or subpixel rather, really displays every bit of information very clearly, as opposed to the Pentile Matrix and the Super AMOLED HD, which is also very crisp, as you can see. I mean, the text is just razor sharp. Zoom in on it, again, still super sharp. No pixelation whatsoever. I guess that's as far as we get in there, but anyway, very nice in both cases. As far as the overall display is concerned, I do prefer the AMOLED just for the ultra rich blacks. It's great for a reader. If you go in, load up like a night mode, just really looks nice. Because just white text on a black background, which actually also helps you save a bit on battery. And you can see here what I was talking about with this, the launcher. You can just swipe those out of the way. Probably seen this in any number of other videos. But as far as functionality, they're both very similar. Obviously, you get the App Store on both, and a lot of apps are cross-platform at this point. Let's see. One other thing, I think one of the guys on Mac Rumors forum was asking for was to check out the animations, which I believe is under the developer options. And right now I believe I have those disabled. Yeah, the window animation scale, you can go from off all the way to 10x, and if you go to the 10x you can see windows just kind of slowly pop in and out, and you know, not in that case, but if you're loading, let's see if I can show an example of this here. Once again, kind of difficult to show, but you can also see it in the animation on the actual buttons. Let's see here. And you can see it kind of fade in there. Again, once again, it pops in. So if I were to go out and disable those, you would see that popping in much more instantaneously. You can see that kind of popping in and out there. If to just open up that same program, so it just pops right in there. So again, just feels a little snappier. I just tend to have them disabled because I don't really need to have that. It's very minimal where that's actually used though, so it's, you know, questionable how much benefit you'd really get out of it. But the text or the voice command on the Google is also excellent. If I ask it to do find phone number for AT&T store in Bel Air, Maryland. See, it's pretty good. Bel Air, Maryland's got the phone number right there. So if I were to go on to the unlock, let's try the Siri. Find phone number for AT&T store in Bel Air, Maryland.
Call AT&T store on 1001 Fleet Street in Baltimore.
See, just not quite hit it there. I mean, again, it found an AT&T store in Baltimore, which is about 45 minutes away, and I guess it requested to call them. So, which I suppose is probably only a natural conclusion that if I'm looking for the phone number, I want to make the call. But anyway, so just not as perfect in my experience. Anyway, the Siri is just not quite, you know, all there yet. Although it does do some really cool stuff, like let you set reminders and so forth, which I really do like, as opposed to the Google Voice command, which doesn't have all that functionality. Anyway, but I just found web searching and phone number searching and business name searching and so forth on the Nexus to be a little bit more accurate. Let's see. You've probably seen it has a similar method here for the icons of grouping. You can rename the groups if you wish to, and you can and it basically puts them in a little round circle. But you can also see here from this, and I tend to try to go for icons and widgets and things that have roughly the same shape and size, because I do like Apple's approach to that sort of uniformly spaced and you know, just having everything in a nice, neat icon that's virtually identical to the others, just with their own customized color and shape and so forth. But you know, it just gives it a nice, clean look. But you can see here, obviously, from the widgets and some of these, you know, they're just, everything's a little bit different shape, including, once again, the groupings, which are put in circles there. And you know, basically it just assembles the icons there. Like I have, you know, kids apps here for my kids. You know, basically just puts them in there. It's hanging slightly out of the circle. They look nice, but you know, sometimes they can tend to look a little sloppy, like in this case here. You know, my bookmarks. Anyway, just depends on the way you look at it, whether you're real picky like me or not. So, but You see, I'm gonna try to click this off. I don't know how much time I've got on the video here, so